tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
And welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another AfterBuzz TV After Show for Downton Abbey Series Season 5, Episode 6. I'm John Comerford, joined in the studio by Courtney Stewart.
What's up, everybody?
And Tamara Berg.
Hello.
All right, so this week we have Isis looking all dogged out, we have Mrs. Hughes being all agog, and we have Edith being all gone, which is where I want to start because we normally end with Edith. This week we want to start with Edith.
Open it up.
Exactly. Let's open it with poor Edith. And boy, was this... Now, we can't get much more poor Edith in this particular show because she's finally learned what we've all feared, that Gregson has been found.
The fate of her love.
So we think found dead. Her body has been found, as a result of Hitler's, what is it, the beer?
Gang.
The brown shirts and the
the brown shirts. It starts off with a telegram and everybody's hush. Oh my God, is he coming? Is he going to say what's going to happen? Who's he going to... And there's this big thing, and it takes interminably long to find out.
It takes a whole day.
Yeah, it's
for
like,
them
oh
to
my
find
God,
out.
the bad news. So they're all talking about the bad news that's impending.
Yeah.
And of course, and they're horrible to her.
Good Lord, they're the worst.
It's terrible.
She could barely
the
breathe
worst.
at that dinner at the breakfast table.
Right.
She was just like... The
Oh
whole
my
time.
God.
It was terrible. And then he finally, when Lord Grantham's like, let me just take it with her alone. We'll meet alone.
Well, thank God he did that because everybody else was. I mean, I understand the whole British stiff upper lip thing, but my God,
I know, it's just ridiculous.
I mean, it was like. Oh, and the weather's going to be bad today. Anywho,
and let's
have a picnic.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me talk about my development first.
Yes.
We're going to be building these nice homes.
Yes.
No ghetto here at Downton. We're going to build.
No, it's going to be fantastic, and let's go on a picnic.
I mean, I understand she's been moping around for
a very long
months
time,
and everything like that.
yeah.
But I mean, when you're about to get, and it seems like only Anna is the only one that cares or is concerned.
Well, and I love what she said.
Yeah.
She died. He died today for her.
For her, exactly.
Is
That
what
made
you know.
sense.
Yeah, it's a
Except
challenge.
nobody cared.
No, yeah.
No,
Like,
nobody seemed to
so-
care at all.
Cora kind of cared.
So what?
She tried
she
to
did.
care.
She
Yeah.
did.
But
That's
then
true.
it still wasn't an active care because it was kind
No.
of like, I'm in bed eating my breakfast. Oh no, she's so
Yeah.
sad. That's awful.
Oh,
Okay.
and even when she was talking, should I go see her?
Exactly. Did you have to ask? Like,
yeah,
it's your
right.
kid.
Why?
Get up and go see her.
Why aren't you circling the wagons around her?
No.
Yeah, and I felt horrible for her. But it makes total sense that she would want to leave because
Of
what's
course.
there for her?
There's nothing left.
Yeah, but okay. So the interesting wrinkle is she's going to be
She's an heiress.
a newspaper heiress.
Right.
Yeah,
The publishing of
Gregson's company.
Yeah, so she's got that. I don't know what exactly that means because I don't know the scope of his company, but
yeah.
I think that's fascinating for her since she already had taken a liking to it.
Right.
So.
But does she even know? I mean, she probably doesn't even know herself.
You mean
They might have-
Edith.
Did they share that?
I'm guessing they probably
if he
said something
knew,
to her.
yeah.
Lord Grantham did.
Yeah, because I think that's one of the reasons why she said, "Oh, I've got my own stuff. I don't have to worry
Yeah.
about being tied to my family in this way." I think that might have been one of the things that helped her
Make the decision. To exit.
And this
building.
decision, of course, we're talking about is the fact that she decided, I'm not staying here.
I'm taking my
I'm
baby.
Taking my baby
Getting
and
on the
running.
train and going away.
Yeah, and so because we saw her last week making a call to London.
Yeah, she was making the plan.
But do we think she's gonna go to London or what do we?
She is. I think she is in London.
In London.
Wherever that hotel is,
Yeah.
that she's at the
Is
end of
that
the
where it is?
end of the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Who knows? I don't
Champagne
know.
and
That's
ice
a
cream.
we didn't see where it could have been a quick jaunt or she's.
Well, she took the train somewhere. She took the car to to the train, so she could go,
We just
anywhere in
don't
the
know when.
country.
Right.
Can we talk about what happened at Drew Farm?
I
at
think we
Tree
should.
Farm or
That
whatever.
was so sad.
That was horrible.
Oh my God.
Horrible.
Awful.
So
Edith didn't even. I mean, she was tearing up, but she was like, "It's my baby." I'm
I
leaving.
think for months I don't know how long it's been, at least weeks, but probably months where she has been turned away and can't visit.
True.
No, go away. And she's like,
"Not this time."
Yeah, not this time. So I can understand that. But two things that were amazing in that. One, I just thought Marjorie, the way she handled that was just heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
But she had such a presence of mind at the end to give the doll to the baby and to say those wonderful things. So at least, I don't know how much Marigold would remember of that, but she said some just terrific things.
Yeah, don't forget that we love you too.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is your new mommy, and no one can love you more and stuff, which is a hard. I mean, for her to say that in that moment with those tears was amazing.
Okay, but how did you react to Marjorie not knowing?
I thought it was terrible. I as soon as they came up with the idea, Tim Drew came up with the idea, I got this plan, I need, and he told Edith that he wasn't going to tell his wife. I'm like, that's not going to be good.
Why would he not? Well, I mean, we talked about why he probably didn't tell her, because she would be a little gossipy maybe with the people. But
he was afraid of that.
After the drama started happening and Edith was like having so much trouble, he should have said something.
Right. Should have just said something.
That was just as crushing to her almost as it would have been when Edith gave the baby away.
And I think if
initially.
he said something earlier, it would not have been such a dramatic scene, but it still would have been heart-wrenching. But she could have been able. I think she would have been able to handle that much better. It's like, okay, I know I'm taking care of somebody's child here.
Yeah, she would have just relegated her to Cinderella status.
You can sweep the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
You can sweep the floor. You can clean the toilet.
But it would have been even. I just think is just as heart-wrenching if she had known. Because here she is.
Well, then you wait every day. Yeah, you wait every day for the other shoe to fall.
Right.
But at least you can prepare for it. And this one, she felt she's getting the child ripped away from her, and she feels completely betrayed by her husband all at the same time. And he's just hanging his head.
I know he said this. That was the thing.
So pitiful.
He's just hanging his head, not really looking. I'm going, hey, dude, come on. You didn't see this coming around the corner?
Was just trying to do right.
I know, it was terrible.
It was so
sad.
That was Marjorie.
Sad.
That was the two things. Marjorie's way she dealt with it at the end there, and also after Violet came to, hopefully she was gonna.
Oh right.
She came too late.
Right.
But after she had talked to the Drews and thanked them, and said she would take her leave or whatever, as she was leaving, the look on her face, I mean, it was just so sad. And it's like, not only am I losing my granddaughter here, I may be losing my great granddaughter, and all the weight and what that might do to the family. And it's like, I just thought her Maggie Smith's look was fabulous.
And that's that's the burden that comes with being the matriarch.
Right. Yep. Exactly. And that's the power of a look too, because she didn't say a thing. She just felt, you could just feel the weight of it hanging.
Well, and I thought it was for as surly as she can be, I thought it was incredibly kind how she, genuinely took a moment to thank them because they had done something really noble.
Or was she just thanking them for not saying anything? Because that's what it came. It came off of him saying, "No, we won't say anything, and neither will she." So you think she was?
Yeah, I just, of course, she's all about propriety, but it felt like a bigger moment to me than that.
I agree, and she knows the gravity of what
I would think so.
Happened, and I think that she would give them that respect too, because if they had told, maybe she'd still be there.
Poor
Edith. Now she's just gonna go be a single mom in the city. What is this?
But here's the thing. Yes, it was poor Edith, but I'm so happy that she finally decided that's
to do
it.
Something,
to do something. Instead of wallowing in that, I thought that was a terrific choice, and I'm glad
I wish she had just
Julian
told Tom.
decided that. Yeah. What's that?
I know. She had just told Tom.
I know that was the thing I hated too. I was not in terms of it was a bad idea. I just wanted that scene. I thought it would have been a great scene to have her say what was going on, to have one ally, and what better ally than Tom, because he would get it.
Exactly.
Absolutely, he would.
But the only thing she said, which I think was very telling, is tell him I was of not sound mind, but I wasn't hysterical.
Not hysterical.
Oh,
that's how pathetic.
Because that's what they're going
to
think.
Yes, exactly.
It's insane.
It's terrible, and they were just horrible.
And if they found out it was the baby, they'd probably just be like, "Oh my!"
Right, and they were so surprised. What do you mean she's gone?
Why would she leave this fabulous place with us fabulous people and our fabulous meals and our fabulous clothes?
It's terrible.
We're amazing. Why would she leave?
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I'm just so happy that she's on an active
path.
Exactly.
Yes.
Who knows where that will lead her?
Yes.
But it'll be very interesting.
It will.
Because now she's, I don't know how much that fortune that she's inherited, or whatever it is that she's inherited, but that may allow her some autonomy. I don't know.
Yeah, but don't you sort of have to identify yourself to people in order to retrieve a fortune?
Well, yeah, but you might, once you get it and you move away, I don't know that you have to.
Point. Move to America. Nobody cares.
That's actually one of the things I thought of, right? They said, there you go.
Nobody cares.
So, all right.
And she's got family in America, so it'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Go see Grandmama.
Sure, Grandmama.
But, it wasn't,
okay.
I mean, she's a single mother with a child. But then again, she could create her own history.
Yeah, are you kidding? Like, everybody didn't back then?
Exactly.
My husband died. It's not that I'm a single mother.
Yeah, well, my husband died.
It's not that this child is a bastard child.
Because of Herr Hitler.
And technically, it almost wasn't a bastard child.
Almost.
He wanted to marry her. He obviously left her an inheritance.
We might leave that part out. Okay.
Just leave that it didn't quite happen out.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on then, because the other thing that I thought was a really good little storyline was the whole Baxter Thomas thing, because obviously, the inspector comes back because he needs to question somebody, and the person he's interviewing is Baxter, which is a surprise to everybody because she wasn't even there during the time.
So whatever. He said the letter.
Yeah, exactly. But they come to her, and and of course her history comes out with Mrs. Hughes.
Yes.
So which was
Shock.
and
she was like, "What?"
It was good. That was a great reaction.
That was great.
Yeah, just the dumbfounded look.
Yeah.
And Viner, of course, has had it up to you go, look, I think he's had it up to here with all the, propriety. Look, he finally says to her, you keep at it, you're out of here. I'm wondering how much power he would, if he would be able to do that, if he would just haul him off. To get rid of Hughes so he can speak to her directly and privately.
Well, I mean, what Mrs. Hughes said was, I don't think you're allowed.
I know, but that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering what the delineation is.
Right, exactly.
The cops, how much power do they have? Exactly.
That,
what would that be?
Because
what do you mean
criminal,
allowed?
They can do whatever.
Yeah. Well, interesting that she has 2 years left on her sentence,
Right.
and she can be thrown back in.
It's like, what? She left that out of her story.
Yeah,
we didn't know she could be sent back.
Right. We knew that she'd been paroled earlier.
Well, I didn't know
but we did not know that part of the.
I didn't know there were terms either. I don't.
Right.
She might have said something, but I don't recall that.
Right. But interesting. How did you know anything about me? We had a letter.
Dun dun dun
Dun dun dun.
Stinger cord. That's right.
Dang it, Thomas.
And so did everybody instantly think Thomas?
That's
or
what I thought.
Yeah.
And I was bitter.
You were bitter? Oh, because
I'm like, come on, here we go. You really just wrote a letter. You're just that you hate yourself that much that you're gonna sit down and write a letter about nothing. No facts.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Nothing.
I mean, his whole life he's been, having to
marginalized.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
I mean, I understand. I don't agree with it necessarily, but I can see him. I understand him lashing out and saying, "Look, if everybody's gonna mess with me and make me unhappy, fine. Then that's what everybody's gonna get back." I get that. I don't agree with it, but I understand.
You know what's so interesting to me is that he, generally speaking, people in the house, the rest of the staff, are pretty kind to him.
Yeah,
I know,
exactly.
They're like, we're sorry about your lot in life, and you can try and be happy another way, and whatever. But he's just like ready to just defame and damage anybody he gets across.
I was trying to remember the initial hate for Bates. Was it because he became the valet?
Yeah, I think there was a positional thing in the beginning.
Happened.
You still mad 4 years later?
Well, I don't think. I think it's obviously that's part of it, but it's also all the other stuff he's had to live with in his mind.
The societal.
Yeah, and
that's not directly Bates. So
no, but he's just
attacking.
Bates is just in the crosshairs. Who can I lash out at? How many times have you known people that just lash out because they're you just happen to be there?
Stay away from evil, ugly people.
Right?
It's terrible.
All right. But even though Baxter knows who ratted her out, so to speak, she's unforgiving enough that when Thomas says, "I need your help," and reveals himself, so to speak.
Yeah, he did.
He's such a pain in the ass. It's kind of karmic, right? So, all right. So he shows her everything and says that,
And we mean everything.
Yeah.
We mean everything.
Yeah, whatever. And
at least it was being shot in his butt.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. Thank you.
It could have been worse.
Because I had other concerns.
Oh, Courtney.
I'm just saying. Because he was looking so awful. I was like, I really hope.
He was looking awful. And so she says, yes, okay, but bring everything. I thought that was an interesting little moment there because she didn't want to do this. The thing like, oh, you don't, like how many times have people not said everything to their doctor so they get misdiagnoses and stuff like that. which I thought was very good. It was a nice little moment.
It was sensible. It was very sensible, and it was very, it made good sense. He says, "Help me."
Yeah. And how about Baxter for really showing her who she is?
She's a good person.
As much as she has been maligned by him.
Mm-hmm. She knows he's really in trouble.
We're taking you to the doctor. We're doing it in 5 minutes.
Right
exactly.
now.
Let's go.
No time to think about it. This is what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So at one point he says, "I've done something I shouldn't have, and if you know, you wouldn't want to be part of this." And she says, "I know what it was." All right. So discussion, red herring? Or
I think it was I thought it was just about the letter. I thought
it was about the letter.
Yeah. But he's saying, "I ratted you out to the cops." But obviously it could be the other bigger, larger.
But then why?
Why?
Why would it be
I know, it doesn't make nothing makes sense.
It doesn't make sense at any point anymore.
We'll get into the Anna Bates thing in just a second. But
yes. Good Lord.
So you're thinking that the thing he did might have been kill Green? Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm thinking Julian Fellows wants me to think
that.
Okay.
And I think you all know how irritated I am with Julian
What if
Fellows
Green was the man that she screwed up for like all those years ago? Was he too young for that?
I don't know.
Courtney.
Well, I don't think he was. Oh, he did work in the house, right? Isn't that part of?
I don't know.
In the house with her, with Baxter.
After the event happened, after the rape happened.
No, I'm talking about when she divulged what had happened and where she stole the stuff and she stole it for somebody. Wasn't that person she stole it for working in the house with her?
No, he had left. Wasn't the point that he?
No.
But they worked together. Is my point.
Yeah.
Okay, so he could be a manservant or a valet.
Yeah.
She named him.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, that's right.
She told us his name,
Thank you.
which I don't remember,
Yeah,
but it wasn't Green.
I don't remember his name.
So
Okay.
It's a good point. Thank you.
Good
Good recall, Tamara.
But that was an interesting idea, Courtney.
Could have been something.
All right. So anyway, Dr. Clarkson realizes very quickly what this is all about, and he says you've been injecting saline, apparently very expensive saline, only the best because he's paid a pretty penny for it.
But not so expensive that they didn't even sterilize the needle before they gave it to you.
So yeah, and of course to no avail because of course you can't cure this.
Right, and I want to change. I did it because I want to change me to make me more like other people, like other men.
Mm-hmm. And the doctor was so kind.
Again,
But did it do enough for you to really start understanding Thomas and feeling for him and wanting some?
I have to tell you, the minute that poor sick man turns to her and says, "Help me," I mean, how can you not have compassion for someone like that? As that's what forgiveness is all about,
Even though he's just been horrible.
He has. And I think we're going to find some more horribleness of him coming down the pike in a little bit. But
wasn't it so interesting that Baxter is saying, look, if
you
really
can be somebody,
if you would just put your mind to it, you could do exactly. And
so
still,
sweet.
even thinking the best of him, even after all this.
Because she knows somebody has to think about it.
Well, because she's been marginalized, and so she understands that somebody has to stop the cycle. You can't turn back and just turn it back on him.
Right.
That doesn't get you anywhere.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be.
Did you feel compassion toward him?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm waiting for, because I really, really hope that you see Thomas have a nice character arc where he starts to understand the power that Baxter's talking about and what he could achieve if he turned all that great, because it's just energy. If he turned all the energy, instead of messing with other people's lives, if he turned it towards what he could do with his own.
If he used his powers for good and not
evil. And not evil.
Yeah, I think that would be fascinating for him to experience that because he hasn't.
Right.
And I think that would be a great character arc. That'd be fun for us to watch.
Right.
Yeah, agreed.
Do you think, and this is all just conversation, doesn't really have anything to do with anything, but do you think that he's going to have an opportunity to have a relationship before the
I think at some point, I think it would be nice.
Ends?
It would be. It would be good to see.
We think so?
Well, yeah, because I think it's great conflict. How do you have one in this
era? I was going
to
say, how does he have it? Is it going to be another?
How does one get? How does that
people figured it out?
I mean, well, and he did have some sort of relationship with somebody who visited, right? We early on in the series.
The valet.
Yeah, but I can't remember who it was.
The Turkish ambassador. Wasn't it the valet for the Turkish ambassador?
Exactly sure
thought it was.
Sorry, you guys. It's a lot going on in these brains. We can't remember everything. But I mean, I talk about a great character arc.
Right.
Going from somebody who who has been, you know, just kind of the source of
angst
pain and angst for so many people, then, you know, having this possible love relationship with Jimmy that, you know, the unrequited love, and then to end the entire series, and by series I mean in the American sense, like the whole show, to have him have a possibility for a good, beautiful life, I think would be amazing.
And is that even realistic at the time?
Yeah, that's what my question. I don't think
really,
it would be realistic.
more than anything,
I wouldn't buy it.
Well,
Okay.
I'd buy a romp with somebody like that.
Well, I think that would be good, but the hope that there might be, I don't know if it wouldn't be an open situation, but where you might find
Two confirmed bachelors living together.
You must deal with the harsh reality rather than the hope. So the harsh reality is that you might never be able to have an open relationship experience, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But there might be a place and a chance for you to have something that's you know, in fulfilling in some way.
Right.
I think just the hint of that would be satisfying enough for me.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
not-
I'm
not
not
that-
talking about
they're
all
not
of a
gonna go
sudden he has a
down
boyfriend
there.
moving.
They're not
at
going
all.
to get married or anything like that. That's not going to
Somebody
happen.
living in the house.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Two
all right.
confirmed bachelors, though, can live together.
Absolutely. They
Confirmed.
can.
Yeah.
Yes, they can.
It absolutely happened back then.
All right. So moving on to our other couple, Anna Bates story. So
Oh, for
Can
God's
it
sake.
really?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Really?
Courtney,
She
you go.
threw away the ticket. Really?
Waited.
Like, what? I was like, Miss Hughes, please just have it like in your jewelry box somewhere, like waiting. No,
Yeah.
no, she threw it away.
Of
And then
course.
poor Anna.
Well, they thought.
Poor friggin' Anna. At the end, I gave away
Yeah.
my husband's freedom.
Well, they thought when they threw it away, they thought that they
were
were
saving him.
saving him.
Yeah,
not,
exactly.
you know, and
And
it's
of
like-
course, that would
because
be
Lady
dooming
Mary
him.
doesn't take the bus or the train or whatever. What does
Yeah.
she take, the bus or the train? No, she takes the train.
Train.
She doesn't deal with these little
Well, she
tickets and
certainly
returns.
wouldn't take a steerage or
Yeah,
third class
exactly.
ticket.
So she
like,
doesn't know
they
the
sort of
tearing, and she doesn't know any of that.
And
So
Anna
she
was
burned it
just
in the fireplace.
devastated.
She was, of course.
Right.
Get happy.
So can we go back a little bit
Yes,
about how she sends
absolutely.
him? He
She
runs
forgets her
off to go
button
get her
box.
button box, and he.
Which right there is not a
Lo and
euphemism.
behold- No, it's not. It's not a button box. It's
It's a
a box
cervical
Yeah.
with
cap.
buttons in it.
Yeah, it's a different
Oh
kind
my
of button.
God! He found the book and
Yeah.
the contraceptives. Shocking! Like we didn't see that coming.
I know.
3 episodes ago. So the first time they come together, they get interrupted by Lily,
Right.
or Marigold, or Rose, or
Yeah, one of the other.
Something.
Tulip,
names.
or whatever
Yeah.
her floral name is. But then it comes back the second time, and okay, so he says, "You think I'm a murderer." Which can we talk about what you said? 'Cause
Oh, just in the coming up last week, they what's called Frankenbite. They Frankenbite that particular clip. So you think all he says is, "You think I'm a murderer," and what he says is, "You don't want to have a baby with me because you think I'm a murderer."
Right.
So just to keep teasing if Bates is the killer or not the killer.
Yeah. So they're they're toying with us
Of
every
course,
chance they get.
absolutely.
But
this is a non-argument, isn't it?
yes.
Because it was.
Yes, this is my point.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so so all you have to do, this is like the typical sitcom
Yeah, I know.
BS. All you have to do is go, hang on a second, that wasn't mine.
Remember that time when you
Except you
Found
caught me
me
in the
putting
hallway
something
and,
in my
and I
coat?
said it was Lady Mary's. This is it.
And you are a lady's maid.
Yeah,
you don't think
exactly.
it's possible that it
Yeah.
would be somebody else's?
Yeah.
As in the woman that she slaves for every single day?
And I don't know if you recall, but when that happened, that scene, that particular episode, when he caught her putting
Yes.
that thing, and I went, I don't have him see it. It's much better if he just finds it and doesn't know anything
Yeah.
about it, because then you know.
Because then you can't refer back
Yes,
to that.
then you can't refer, because the whole time the argument's happening, I go, all you have to do is say, I mean, he was there,
Yeah.
he saw
Like
it, and you could.
saw
Yeah.
me put it in my
And then they
coat.
never even addressed that.
Right, and this is what I write. And then they don't talk about the book and the contraception.
Well, why would you go back after that if you're talking about the other thing? I understand that part of
Because
it.
it's still an issue.
I know, but I just think it was a kind of a clunky way into the whole argument. Because I loved the scene when he said, when he's talking about how he wanted to kill Green, he knew it was
Yeah.
Green, and
Yes.
she went, and that whole thing where I knew it was
Right,
Green.
I know.
How
You
could
had
you know?
to find a way in to get
Right,
into
it
that
was just a clunky
conversation.
way in.
It was.
But once you got there in that scene was really good. I mean, we haven't seen an Anna Bates scene for a long time.
A long time.
Not a real good one like this, anyway.
It was great.
And you could, everything was there. I mean, I wanted to kill him. I was gonna kill him, but I couldn't do that to you because I would have been hanged.
Which is what we've been saying all
Yeah,
along.
exactly.
He knows that because
Unless
he's
he's
already
lying.
been through
It's
that.
over.
Yeah.
Unless he's
He's not
lying.
lying.
Then who the heck is it?
All right. It's Cleopatra in the library.
No, it's Mr. Mustard in the library with a candlestick.
There you go. That's what it is. So.
Okay. Either way,
I'm
it's
annoyed.
devastating because now he's gonna probably like go to jail for it anyway and get hanged because they don't have the ticket.
Right.
And then Anna's gonna kill herself because she's the reason that he doesn't have the ticket.
Right. So
that was another thing when she said that. It's a great moment and everything, but I just went, oh, please don't keep her this victim forever. Like because she's always thinks she's responsible for everything.
Everything.
I went, no, don't do that because it's the same thing for her, and I want her to play something else.
One of our viewers we were having a bit of a conversation on YouTube. You were involved in a little bit of that too, and via Twitter.
Right.
This storyline was so much more powerful when it was about Anna,
right,
and being a victim, and
how they were gonna
revenging or avenging this, right. and as Elizabeth said, and I agree. The idea that this has now become a murder mystery, and it's a murder mystery for a murder that we didn't get to witness,
right.
and so it's like all this
stuff that happened
off-screen speculation makes it just annoying.
Well,
to a certain degree,
and because we wanted him dead anyway, so we don't actually.
Right, we don't care how he died that much. We really don't.
Because
I'm glad somebody killed him.
Because this is TV, and we can say that.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, not in real life.
Yeah, of course not.
Real life,
but
we would care.
And I agree, it is kind of annoying. But you have to admit. I mean, Julian Fellows is getting everybody talking. Who is it? Who is it?
Yeah,
I mean, he's getting people to. I mean, and that's very effective. I agree, though. I've always wanted it to be about. Because I think you could do both. How are they going to overcome this horrible thing that happened to them, to her, but then, of course, by extension, to both of them?
Yes.
And how are they going to mend that? How are they going to go beyond that? How does that? Because that's extremely dramatic and compelling, and you can still have the mystery. Because the fact that he knew that, first of all, he knew anything happened. We didn't get to see any of that.
Yeah,
because
he figured it out.
We know he figured it out, but we didn't get to see them have the conversation, or at least have them not have the conversation. We never really got that,
right?
Because we used to have them have a couple scenes at home, and this is the first time we've seen it at home. This particular series,
that's true.
And for me, I was going, when are you ever going to get to them dealing with this problem, as opposed to dealing with who murdered Green?
Because they're an emotional core of the show.
They are the emotional core of the show. Or at least they were the last few series.
Right. And the way that she was so removed from him after it happened, we didn't see how they were able to get it back together. They were just back together, and it was all fine.
Yeah. And I wanted to see all those cracks and fissures and how they mended them.
Now the payoff is, I'm sure, Julian Fellows is betting on the quote jaw-dropping finish to the storyline being really something, but
I'm worried.
I still think I would have been more satisfied with an unfortunate hunting accident.
Agreed.
#, unfortunate hunting accident.
Because I think we're gonna get somebody and we're gonna be like, why did he do it? Why did they pick? And then
that's the general consensus in the comments. Is none of it makes sense. We can't figure it out. He's not allowing us to figure it out. We're never gonna figure it out.
And that's the thing he's using to keep us coming back. And it's working. A lot of people are curious and asking the question and trying to figure it out. And some people are getting annoyed.
I just don't want it to be disappointing because it was so important that that retribution happened to him.
Right.
I mean,
well, he even said the hand of God.
And actually, can I just ask you, writer? I know we need to move on to the next thing, but the passion that we felt about protecting Anna and avenging Anna has so waned that, like Courtney said, we want him dead and we don't care who killed him at this point. So how do you get back to the having the emotional core still being there, and these, this, and remembering, because we talked about it a little bit last week, remembering that this is about Anna being brutalized. And that was the thing that was so shocking.
Well, the part that's difficult is because we didn't get to see her healing process and how she and Bates healed together through the mended and stuff like that. We lost that. I don't know how you get that back, because you can't go back and re-ring that bell. It's already gone. They've missed that. So you can't go get back and get that.
Well, and they're not gonna. They wouldn't. I can't imagine they're gonna do something like a. Well, they wouldn't do a trial because he's dead.
No.
But
they might do a trial for the one who killed him.
Yeah, right. They could. Yeah. But I mean, do you go back through flashbacks to get us to remember how painful it was? I don't know. I don't think it would work. I think the momentum of this story has been lost.
Well, and the only thing that can save it is whatever this jaw-dropping thing is going to be.
Gonna kill
That'll
it.
be huge.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then
maybe the whole
it
point
may be
is,
so shocking that we just go, and we forget everything else because it's so shocking.
Let's hope
or the
it's
whole
awesome.
point is that we're just supposed to refocus our energy on
There you
Bates
go.
and Anna being in love.
Okay.
And she's gonna be pregnant.
There,
at the end.
there you go. There you go. Because
Okay,
he didn't think she wanted a Bates baby, but she does.
There
All
you
right.
go.
Okay,
Speaking
sorry.
of shocking, let's move on to Violet. Because two things that were shocking. The first was that she got a new lady's maid.
That
we
lady.
think
Denker.
Dinka, I think
Denker.
maybe
Denker.
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 I think it's Dinka with
It's
an
spelled
English accent.
Denker.
Oh, you looked it up,
Yeah, I
did
did.
you?
Denker.
Denker.
Looked
So
it up.
that's how it's,
She doesn't.
that's
She must be Scandinavian
I
or
don't
something.
could be.
Potentially, she doesn't
So,
watch those
but-
unmentionables.
yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, first before
That
we go
was
into the
great.
storyline,
Yeah.
I loved where the two of them are sitting playing
Violet
cards,
and
Isabel
Isabel.
and Violet playing cards. You know, and confiding as friends.
Yeah.
And there have been so many wonderful moments between them of
Yes.
sniping. And it's so sweet that they were having that. And we saw in the coming ups, well,
Yeah.
I had been really enjoying
Right,
having
right.
a companion.
Yeah, exactly.
She's losing her
She's gonna lose her friend.
Wow. But
Yeah.
it was so totes adorbs how they were sitting there.
Playing cards and
Playing cards
chatting.
and
Definitely.
Yeah, and really confiding.
And you
well,
notice-
are you? Well, yes, I
I
am. It
also-
wasn't like the
The
power
power
struggle
struggle.
wasn't there.
And they also shot that way they shot that. Usually they were on opposite sides of the table.
Yes,
this time they put
they
them
were
on
kind of-
Jason's
yeah.
side.
Yes.
So just to reinforce that visually that they're closer
growing
and all that. They're not
together.
opposing each other so much.
Yes. It was
So that was
So
nice.
Denker.
Yeah,
Denker.
so-
Denker.
Yes, and she's not a fan of Sprat.
Sprat.
And Sprat's not
Who
a fan of hers.
is?
Exactly.
Sprat's a
Oh
jerk.
my God! The phrase I wrote down was "fit to be tied."
Yeah.
He walked in and he was sputtering and he was red and he was practically, you know, in the cartoons how like the guys have the shirt fronts and they like stick
it
out,
out.
they like burst
Yeah,
out of their
exactly.
jackets.
He wanted his
I was
collar
waiting
and
for
his
that to go
steam to come out of his
coming
head.
out of his head.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He does not like Denker.
Yeah, he does not. And he's so furious about the
God, she's refusing to wash the smaller
The
items.
smaller.
And
items.
I just love that they lost all their composure and had to discuss it in front of Isabel. And even though Violet's saying, hey, whoa,
We can talk
time out
later.
here.
Like, okay.
Yeah, you're losing your sense of decorum or whatever she
Yes,
said.
exactly. And occasion. They couldn't compose themselves.
No, they hate each other.
Hilarious.
No,
It was great.
It was fabulous. And I can't
And,
wait.
and Isabel, no, I've enjoyed it.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
But
And-
she also mentioned that's why I don't have a butler
Yeah.
or
Or
a
ladies'
ladies'
maid.
But
maid.
now, doesn't it make you want to see, Sprat and Denka go head to head? I want to
Over-
see this.
over
Something ridiculous. Yes.
yanking underwear.
Exactly. This would be funny.
Oh
Hilarious.
my God.
Sprat can throw a fit.
Yes.
Hey, fat Sprat. So, all right, that's fun to watch. But really, the point of the story was that Violet goes to see Prince Kurgan again
Right.
to let him know that they're this close to finding out
They're real
where the
close.
princess is. But more importantly, we see where she visits him is not in the best part of town.
No.
He's in
like
what looks like a
boarding
one-room,
house.
Quite
ramshackle.
shabby.
Yeah, exactly, very dingy.
Not in the chic way.
Yeah, exactly. And certainly not a princely way that
No.
he's used to.
Not at
So we can
all.
see this as well. We saw a little bit of that in their experience because we saw them in the church, and
Yeah.
so we know
Mm-hmm.
that that whole world that they lived in is no more. But just putting them there, I thought was very interesting. Just because the things peeling off the wall,
It
and
was
he
small,
can
it
make. He
was
says, "Can I make
very-
you tea?" I think I can make you tea. That's all he can.
Yeah.
Very intimate
Mm.
though.
But right, very intimately
Yes.
talking about their past and
professing
their-
his love.
and he
All
was
right.
very
Right.
bold.
Very
The
Russian.
season of bold men
Just
on Downton.
Absolutely, very Russian.
I wanted you the moment I saw you.
More than any mortal has wanted. a
Exactly,
woman.
more than anyone.
Hello. Yeah, I was. See
Where's
what
that
happened?
fan?
I
Where's
know.
that fan?
I was thinking, because of the way Tony said that to Mary, I'm going, I
Yes.
wonder what Courtney's feeling about
Exactly.
this.
All of these men, I literally wrote on the notes I don't have. Bold as men on Downton this year. But yeah, I'm not mad, bro.
Yeah, so that was nice, huh? Right?
Made her a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, made her very uncomfortable.
Oh,
And I thought it was
absolutely.
interesting because, of course, she's always the woman of, propriety.
Yes, absolutely.
But the one thing that she said that I thought made really good sense was you make it sound like neither of us was happy,
Right.
or that we were both unhappy, and that wasn't the case.
But I don't know, was it? Because what he says is, but you think
Thank you.
unhappiness is ill-bred.
And then she said, "You know me so well,
Igor.
Igor."
That I must concede. Yeah. So I don't mean not.
Yeah, that I must confess.
Not
yeah.
not that it matters. I mean, I don't know because we never saw her relationship with her husband.
No.
But maybe at some point they weren't happy. But clearly they've had some sort of fling, and it seemed like a passionate one.
They went
but
off
she's so good at holding it and keeping it in check.
At all.
That's an historic. What did you call it? An historic detail or whatever it is.
Or a detail, I think that is what he said.
And it's like, wow. Because what's holding her back now?
Exactly.
I mean, except for the fact that the princess may still be alive. But even he said if she is, it's like,
he didn't care. He didn't love her.
So
he never loved her as much.
Let her continue to be a cleaning lady. I mean whore.
Oh, hey, whoa.
Hong Kong. I didn't mean whore. I meant prostitute. Sorry, that's what I meant was prostitute.
Okay.
Cancel.
Erase.
Well, maybe with all the changes, she'll eventually go for it a little bit.
Yeah, do you think? I mean,
or at least have tea at the house.
Why not? I mean,
well,
what's the deal?
Isabel could encourage her.
Yeah, I think she needs
But do you think she's... two reasons. I'm asking, because is it because the princess may still be alive and there's still that thing? Or is it because... does it have anything to do with the fact that he's not a prince and it would be inappropriate for her to do that?
I think it would be probably improper on some level. Maybe not even dealing with the prince being dethroned. Maybe it's just where they are, knowing that there was a history. Maybe in some way that's some sort of affront to her husband in the past and that kind of thing. And she sort of resigned herself to being the widowed.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine her trying to, slip him into the family.
No.
So to speak. All right, but now hold on to that thought, because while she is saying goodbye to an old flame, basically Isabel is igniting a new one.
Yes.
So she's decided to say yes to Lord Merton's proposal and is going to announce it, et cetera, and stuff. Now, and even she says to Violet, she says, this may be my last chance
for an adventure.
And I'm going, well, what about Violet's last chance? So we just talked about that, Violet, but don't you think that's going to have an impact on Violet as well? Here's this woman who's my contemporary, my companion, who's made this great statement. It's right, because why not? This is your last chance in adventure. I mean, what else is it? Why doesn't the Dowager? So anyway,
I think it would be out of character for her.
It would break with the tradition.
And,
that's exactly why I think she should do it. Because what is she, 90 years old or whatever? What are you holding back for?
I'm not saying I don't think she should do it. I think she should. Throw caution to the wind, But she's been given the opportunity to update her, rules as time has gone on and as people get their hair cut and things, and try and ride not side saddle. And every time she has gone back to the old ways. So I mean, I think it would be out of character. I think it would be fabulous to see her smile. Are you kidding? It would be great.
I like it because Corrigan, the Russian, when he's so bold and he's just so brassy with her, that I would love him to say something horribly inappropriate in front of a bunch of people that's about how much he loves her or something like that.
And her go.
Exactly. I would love to see how she handles that and how she kind of plays it off or whatever, because Maggie's amazing.
He's gonna plan a nice kiss on her.
That would be. Wouldn't that be great?
And she's gonna have to say something.
Exactly. I think it would be hysterical.
I do too. I think it would be fabulous.
So, he'll do something. It won't be a real relationship.
And we're happy with Isabel. Everybody seems to be happy with Isabel and Lord Merton. We good with this?
Yeah, I'm still kind of sad about Clarkson because I thought they were a beautiful couple together.
Especially because of what he said.
Like, why isn't it going to work with the doctor and suddenly Merton is appealing? I don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Except for I wonder why she didn't think she would have an adventure with Clarkson. Maybe it would be too
common.
Maybe because he's a doctor and he will always think he's smarter than her.
Yeah, I don't know that he ever did.
No, because he always treated her really as a contemporary.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
So, and even especially what he said, that harsh reality it's better to deal with that than the other, which is very much what Isabel would say.
Yeah, that I was thinking so much of that when we saw that scene with Thomas was, that's why I liked him with Isabel.
Right.
Yeah.
But she wasn't feeling.
But I'm happy for the adventure. I hope they put him on an adventure. I mean, it'd be good.
We get to see them in love.
Yeah.
I think it's cute.
I think it'll be really great when they marry and they're at Lord Merton's estate, or whatever it is, and they invite Violet over, and Violet is the guest
third wheel
of Lady Merton.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that'll be a lot of fun.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they'll be sitting on the same side of a table, or
of course, Isabel will never go to those conventions of what a lady should be. She'll be
not so much. Absolutely,
Violet's my babe.
Yeah,
we're buddies.
Yeah. BFFs.
That'd be great.
All right. So since Isabel is accepting a proposal, let's talk about the other proposal that was made. A quote business proposal end quote.
Oh my gosh.
But it did make me think.
Yeah.
What did they do when they retired? What did if you worked in the house all this time, you really never
worked there. I think the line that Mrs. Hughes says is, "What makes you think I'm going to live to see retirement?"
Yeah.
I think they worked till they were dead.
Yeah.
Or in some instances when they were too ill to work anymore, they were taken away and put in a home to die.
Yeah.
So.
Occasionally, families would
take them back, sure.
set up. You can go live in the cottage,
right,
on the green, and
right.
I can't remember who it was. It may have been Carson when he was injured.
Yeah.
They were talking about how, don't worry, we're going to take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously this all comes because Mrs. Patmore, they're going to see the cottage, and he's trying to give her the olive branches. He says, with the whole Archie memorial thing, and we go see the cottage, and wasn't it a quaint little
cottage?
Very cute, with an outdoor toilet.
Yes,
outdoor privy, as they say. She's used to that, and a nice tiny little stove. So
may I make a suggestion? Well, I'm all agog.
Yeah, I loved it. And wasn't her look amazing?
The word I wrote was grin.
Yeah.
Because she turned around. All right. So he says, I propose we buy an investment property. Yeah. She turned around like she had just been proposed to.
Yeah.
In the other way.
Well,
essentially, he did.
I know.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Which is,
she knows it.
I know.
He thinks she doesn't know
but
it.
It was exactly. It was so odd coming from him because he's so about the proper thing, and this was, this is a horribly improper way to propose.
Cute though, fun,
was it
cute.
Yeah.
I'll take a house.
Because she sees right through him.
And he loved it.
It's just as fun as watching last episode
at the beach.
When they held
hands. Yeah, exactly. That was
very
nice.
precious.
Yeah, it's great.
Yep.
Perfect little moment from those two.
Yes.
Yeah, we really like that. Okay, so now, just because we've been dealing with all the other relationships, let's deal with the one that got patched back together, which was ridiculous because it went on for so long.
Oh, for God's sake.
We got Cora and Lord Grantham, who is still upset with her. Pouting like crazy, moping around and not sleeping in the same room and harumphing. And I'm just going, would you knock it off?
Yes.
Grow up. He just seemed so childish to me.
He was.
And I was very happy when she put him in his place.
Praise the
If
Lord.
you can honestly say you've never had a flirtation go too far, et cetera, et cetera.
Or giving the woman a wrong
idea. Exactly.
And we know that he has.
Then by all means stay away. Yeah. Otherwise, I expect you back in my room tonight.
Yes,
Boom.
Cora. Yes.
Boom.
And he doesn't even get comfortable in his little tiny bed. He just, right.
Dang it, curses. Dames.
Exactly. That's right. Dames is trouble.
Begrudgingly throws off the covers is what I said. Dang it, she's right.
Yes, she is.
It's like, really, why were you even pretending to give? What a stupid little game.
What does it get you?
Well, I understand, his whole line about, look, you allowed him into our private. Now, I understand he had a point there that you allowed him into our private lives. I get that part of it. But to be so,
well, she was in her nightgown. It did happen in the bedroom. It's not like he walked in the library and they were reading books and holding each other.
And she was covered from here to her toe.
Exactly.
She's more uncovered at dinner.
That's true.
For God's sake.
She didn't have one ankle showing.
She did not have an ankle showing.
So.
But the toes. We don't know about the toes.
Right. Yeah. He's just sulking like crazy and just... There's just nothing so annoying as the Earl of whatever being a sulk.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Come on, crybaby.
Yeah, it works for him all the time. That's what he does.
But they kept that story going for a while, didn't they? And then it's like, but one little thing from her.
Check him. That's right.
That's right. Okay. Right, but before we get to our last point, I have to, because we just talked about Lord Grantham. Is anybody really worried about Isis? I mean the dog, of course.
I mean, I was concerned if she's like laid up for days, looking fat and not happy and sick. I was like, why is we gonna have another death? Move?
I thought he said there wasn't gonna be any more deaths.
No.
Maybe Didn't that what Julian felt? Was he just talking about humans.
This week we saw Lord Grantham's beloved dog Isis is a bit under the weather, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Some people are saying that the dear old yellow lab may be suffering from an ill-timed name. Sharing her title with the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS, the jihadist group, has perhaps sent the sweet canine to that squirrel-filled meadow in the sky.
So you think Julian's like,
you gotta kill the dog because of the name?
A rep for the show points out that ISIS, the terrorist network, not the dog, had not been using the title during most of the filming of season 5, but Twitter users have still been using the hashtag awkward when referring to ISIS the dog.
Oh, no.
Little news item that we were going to get to later.
All right.
Thank you
for getting to it
Isis
now.
is going to
Yeah,
die,
yeah,
guys.
she's listless and fat.
Yes. And, could she be pregnant?
He said no way. Or
That dog did not look pregnant.
All right, all right.
But
pending deal.
that never stops
ISIS.
Julian Fellows.
Poor ISIS.
Poor ISIS.
All right, let's get on to our Mary. And
Mary and her new haircut.
I wanted to end with this just because there was so much of it that I thought was hysterical.
Mary is a
okay. I know she is. It's just horrible. She's horrible from Edith. Even when she's talking to Anna in private, she's being horrible.
I
don't know what Gregson saw in Edith.
Yeah. Like, wow.
Cold as ice.
Cold. We already knew he was dead. What's wrong with her? And it's her sister. Like,
her sister, and Mary's been through it.
Yes,
I know.
Thank you. But and what did he ever see in Edith?
Right.
A horrible thing.
Oh my God.
Horrible
and
person.
Edith was kind to her.
Yeah. And Edith was still like sitting in a corner crying most of the episode. Like she wasn't doing anything, and she finally stood up for herself.
But I thought you liked her being this way.
I mean, I do. I enjoy it. It was great television, and I was amused. And it's an interesting choice, though, because we've had the little brief moments of her. Well, obviously, she came out of it when she married.
Right.
And Matthew, and they kind of grew. And then after that, she's kind of come back. And even in her mentioning to Gillingham that she's stepped outside of herself or become a little bit better of a person. It's obvious that
this was not the Mary that
it wasn't the growth
Matthew had loved.
It was supposed to be growth, but it obviously was not.
No, it was growth in a weird way.
It was growth because it had to be at the time.
Is it just the hairs of a Samson thing she got them to do and decided?
No, because she went into it on purpose to like make them want to fiend for her,
to look
even
like
though
a
she
Vogue,
doesn't want any of them.
Like a Vogue fashion model, as Maybelline Fox
She
put
wants them to remember what they're losing.
Remember what they're losing.
Right. Yeah, so it was calculated.
Yeah.
And with total disregard for her sister.
Yep.
Because, he'll still be dead tomorrow, but I've got to go get something going at the point to point.
But let's get to the important part. Yes, it was total disregard for her sister, but was it total disregard for fashion? Did you like the haircut?
I liked it. I thought it was cute.
You did? Okay.
And she didn't look like a barrel of monkeys or whatever.
Bald monkeys.
Bald monkey.
Absolutely.
And she said, "You made me feel strong."
Right. Okay.
You do feel strong when you cut your hair.
Really?
Yeah.
But even that, dude, because I was like,
no. I've done it.
No, I get that part, but that particular do on her.
I mean, it's
like,
1920.
Yeah, it's perfect for the time.
It's fabulous for the
time. But boy, did she like it. She was
a
showing
new
it
woman.
Yeah,
except
absolutely.
Grandmama thought it was a man in her clothes.
I thought you were a man. Oh, it is you.
I thought Lord Grantham was very diplomatic.
Yeah, he was.
I wouldn't expect nothing less from him.
He was very diplomatic. Yes. Oh, poor Edith.
So we go to the point to point.
Let's go to the point to point. Which was, it was a lot of fun. I thought it was exciting. I thought it was really well shot.
Beautiful.
Yes,
fun,
the way the horses were on that green.
Oh, yeah, it
looked
looked gorgeous.
Fabulous.
Looked gorgeous.
I felt sad for that poor guy who fell off his horse.
Yeah.
Almost got trampled.
I was going, God, did they really get a stunt guy for that? Or would that just happen?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think Mary should have gotten extra points or like some kind of handicap because she was riding side saddle.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to fall off at one point, and
I did too.
it was going to be some kind of disaster.
Yeah.
And then it would totally take away from Edith again.
Especially because, like,
oh God, Mary almost died, and they wouldn't even notice that Edith was
left.
gone.
Who? yeah.
We have another child?
Exactly.
Oh, there's another daughter?
I thought for sure Mary was going to hit the deck.
Oh my
she
God.
rode and rode and rode.
And I thought it was great that Isabel said, what is it? She looks...
Oh, that was great.
Oh,
yeah.
She was...
I think she's splendid, says Isabel. I think she's
cracked.
And there you have it. There's Isabel and Violet.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I think she's cracked.
I loved it.
And when that was all being said, I'm going, she's going to take a dive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought
what
for
it
sure.
looked
that way, yeah.
But it didn't go.
Not at all.
But some more of the nasty lady comments between Mary and Mabel
that was great.
on the horses.
Yeah, Mabel was made such a big to-do with Blake last week, saying, I'm not going to play along with your stupid little plan.
That have lint on them.
And, of course, she shows up. very eager to participate.
Ready to go.
She was ready.
Yeah, and looking good. She looked good.
She
did. She looked adorable.
Great.
She looked beautiful.
On her horse.
Yeah, that's right.
And she goes toe-to-toe with Mary.
I love the vitriol between the two of them. It's so polite.
It is polite.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. See, and that to me was how Violet and Isabel were. It was an echo of that, so it was kind of fun.
It was nice to watch it starting
again. It's just young and sassier with better haircut.
Yes.
And clothes.
That's right.
They looked great in their riding outfits.
Let's face it, Charles Blake, his plan seems to be working.
Kind of, but Mary's not interested in him
because then he said he'd be there by now if he'd quit jerking his rein, or lead, excuse me, which was a nice metaphor for what we call these days. So so you think it's going to work? Because I thought Tony was completely into it.
Tony was. He was jealous when he saw her Mabel walk around and talk
and say
to
hi
Blake.
to Charles.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
He was very jealous. Very stupid.
I liked the staging of that because it very much looked like a dance. You know,
Yeah,
I have to talk to him, and there's this going and that going, and I thought it looked great. It looked great.
Oh, Blake, you're gonna have a broken heart at the end too. Mary don't want you.
All right, so the last thing that we have happen at the point is that Atticus introduces his parents, and Violet learns that they're Jewish.
Convert to what?
There's always something. If it's not one thing, it's another.
Just when she thought she was going to be able to relax. Oh, great. What else?
Something else.
Yeah, exactly. No, not going to happen. So, all right.
Super cute couple.
Yeah, they did look cute, right?
They were sweet.
I have a funny tweet to read that was sent by Guy Warner Thomas. He says, Atticus is more charming than a charming charm snake who's high on Lucky Charms. And called him a charmeleon.
That he is.
Which I loved. And Matt Barber, the actor who plays him, retweeted that.
Oh, did he? Oh, that's great. That's great. That's wonderful.
Super cute.
All right, any last thoughts before we get on to...
Rose looked beautiful. I can't wait to see her as a bride.
That'll be great.
Oh, at the point, the phrase, "Are you stalking me?"
Oh, yeah.
Modern phrase. I don't think that... I didn't check it, but I don't think that's something that...
It would have been better if you'd used something else. Even if they did use it, it's too ubiquitous for now.
Yeah.
To make it
kind of stood out. Daisy Mosley.
Oh, yeah. Mosley's being...
Yeah, we should always be polite to people who are kind. There's not very much of it about.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I was like, there you go. Because that was for me, it was a favorite line, mostly because I completely agree with that.
No kidding. No kidding. Yeah, we should always be polite to people who are kind.
And it made Mosley look less like a
gallant a little bit.
Yeah, he had a moment like, he wanted to be something
and
else
he just,
too.
Yeah, he did. He wanted it.
He
had a whole other trajectory for his life, and it was not to be. But he still can hopefully create something like that by helping Daisy.
Yeah,
help someone else get out.
Exactly. That was a great line. Yeah, help somebody else get out.
Get out.
Terrific. Which really shows a lot of him.
I have some news, so
let's go to our news and gossip.
This was supposed to be in last week's news, but I lost it. I couldn't find it. Maggie Smith received a royal honor from Queen Elizabeth on October 17th. The Downton Abbey star was made a member of the Order of Companions. Okay, hold on. She was made a member of the Order of the Companions of Honor.
Thank you.
Good gracious. The award is limited to 65 living people of distinction. Other members include physicist Stephen Hawking, actor Ian McKellen, and artist David Hockney.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
Nice.
In a follow-up to last week's story about the naming of character Atticus Aldridge, while Julian Fellowes is fond of naming characters after personal friends, he said of this character, "I cannot remember another time when we allowed a proper character, someone with a real function in the narrative, to be named in the aid of a charity." And he said, "We were lucky that the Byers had a son with quite an English name. But I suppose if it had been a foreign-sounding one, then we would have had a foreign visitor stirring things up for the residents of Downton Abbey." It's believed that that item raised around £20,000 for Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation.
Way to go, Atticus.
There is a new parody of Downton Abbey coming, The Britishes.
The Britishes, okay.
It is a new DirecTV/College Humor sketch series that parodies Downton Abbey and becomes available tomorrow. The series stars Peter Serafinowicz from Parks and Recreation, and Will Sasso, who you might recognize from Justified and Mad TV, will have 8 episodes. The one being shown online.
That's all right.
I'm
we got
rushing.
You.
So
Okay.
It's titled "The Charming Mr. Hitler," just so that you know the type of humor that they're going to be offering.
I see. Okay.
Alrighty.
So if they're going for the feel-good laugh.
Yeah, exactly. In her
That's what they
latest
call it.
project, Dame Maggie Smith plays a homeless.
Whoa.
The movie is called The Lady in the Van. It's based on the true story of a homeless woman who lived for 15 years outside of the home of playwright Alan Bennett.
Wow.
What?
Well, from Downton Abbey to homeless in a van.
Yeah,
That's
Maggie
a
Smith has definitely
long journey.
swapped her finery. The woman that she
Wow.
portrayed was only known as Miss Shepherd. She died in 1989, and Bennett, the playwright, subsequently discovered that she had been a talented young pianist who suffered from serious mental breakdowns and had spent time in a convent. The story was turned into a play, and Maggie Smith played Miss Shepherd in 1999.
Wow.
The film version also stars Jim Broadbent.
Nice.
Is set in the 1960s and is being directed by Nicholas Heitner.
Wow.
Very
there you
cool.
go. Good for that.
And finally, just a couple quick shout outs to IIJG27 Rich, who recommended the film Enchanted April.
Oh, it's great.
If any of you haven't seen it, it's a beautiful film.
It's
Check it out.
terrific.
Shout out to my buddy Anna in Ireland and BW2082 on iTunes. Please do give us comments and reviews on iTunes. Is that what we're looking for?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we are? iTunes or
I
We
YouTube?
always
remember
need
what it is.
iTunes reviews.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
always a
iTunes
good
ratings.
thing. If you like us,
We
do
like
it. And if you hate
fives.
us, don't.
If you hate us, tell us why.
Yeah.
Are you doing something you don't like? I can't promise we'll do something different.
You will ignore it. All right.
But thank you, everybody, for all your comments and,
Yes,
and for the
absolutely.
discussion. I love going through discussions on the
Oh,
days after.
yeah,
and,
it's
and the
terrific.
week.
You
Yeah,
two
it's
peeps,
terrific.
you're awesome.
Yeah,
They
you
are.
are. We love
They're
you guys.
terrific.
Super fun.
So insightful. Okay. I wanted to go into predictions because I have one. So
Okay,
does
so do
anybody
I.
else have
Do
anything?
one.
I bet we have the same one.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead, John. You
All
go.
right. Well,
You go.
well, let's say it at the same time and see if we're right.
Go.
Okay. I say
Gregson's
alive.
not dead.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah. They found a body. They probably
They
found
think it's
paperwork.
his, They don't have
Well, they said they
DNA.
found parts of a body or
Yes.
what's left.
Yeah,
left of the
I
body.
think he's alive. I still think I said that a couple of weeks ago that he's going to come back. I still think that because I think that's really fun TV. She's gone
And he's
because
gonna
she
be
thinks he's
like,
dead. So he's going to come back unannounced to show up and to to get her, and she won't be there, and they won't know how to get in touch with her because she's gone.
And it's still poor Edith.
And it's still poor buddy.
Jeez.
And he's going to find out that he has a daughter and the whole thing and
Yeah, that'd still hashtag poor Edith. I'm
It would
sure.
be.
It
It
is,
would
'cause
be,
she
but
would
it's
be
great.
nowhere to be
It's great
found.
drama
I
because then when
agree.
they
That
actually
would work.
finally get together, it'd be amazing.
Now, I saw a little twist on this with
Okay.
Edith just basically severing ties with her family.
Right.
And becoming this publishing tycoon and going
Right.
back to that kind of, I think it was series 4.
Yeah, when she was
3,
writing.
when she was writing her
excited.
column and she was really like doing something and being someone and having
could be a lot
lovely
of fun.
time.
That could be a lot of
and
fun.
so watching her kind of thriving is the
Right.
word that I used, and
Yeah.
then at the very end of the whole series,
He comes rocking in.
and they go off to America.
When it's all
And he becomes a
over.
Hearst. The Hearst.
The Hearst. Oh, the Hearst.
There you go.
All right. Well, that's fun too. That would absolutely be fun. I'd enjoy watching that.
And then we
we'll
get to
see.
watch The American.
Yeah.
Downton Abbey goes to America.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yes.
There we go.
There you go.
I could do that.
All right. That sounds good. All right. Any last words?
No.
All right. Tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Tamara Berg, TAMARAB as in boy, ERG. My website is tamaracentral.com. Thanks for supporting us, you guys.
We love you. I can be found on Instagram and Twitter at Stuart Starlet.
I can be found right here next week when we'll bring you another. What's that?
We only have 2 left.
Only 2
There's
left.
only 2 more.
Not counting the Christmas
That's right.
episode.
We'll be here next week. We'll bring you another after show of Downton Abbey. Thanks again so much for paying attention and for giving us all your comments and your thoughts and your insights. We love hearing them.
Killed the man.
We don't care anymore.
All right. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll
Thanks,
talk to
you
you next time.
guys. Thanks.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Glass of wine.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.